Welcome back to the Then Before Fitness YouTube channel. I'm Willie.
Seth.
Thank you guys for everybody who watched the first video. Hopefully you got something out of it. We're back with episode number 2, and today we're going to be talking about why we think that full body workouts are more beneficial to 90% or 99% of the population than body part splits or push-pull leg splits or whatever. So I guess the number one thing we're going to start with is like how beneficial it is to do full body workouts every time you're in the gym, whether you're here 1 time a week, twice, 3 times, 4 times, whatever, because of how much it helps if you skip workouts. So, Seth, you were talking about how like even if you miss one workout, that's how long
you're missing out on a week to 2 weeks of hitting said body part.
Right. So like if you do
at all.
Yeah. So if you do like a split where you go push on Monday, pull on Wednesday, legs on Friday, and it's summer that Friday you get on the shore and you come back the next week and do the same thing, you still just went 2 weeks from the Friday before to the following Friday without hitting legs at all.
Right.
And if you do that once a month, it might not seem like a lot, but that's 12 extra weeks of work that your upper body got that your lower body did not get.
Right. And let's just be honest, like most people out there in the general population are getting to the gym 2-3 times a week. People who are going to the gym.
Yeah.
So, and the amount of sets that are required for a muscle group is like over exaggerated by people. So
sure,
if you're doing the 2 or 3 times a week for the whole body, you're at least going to get in them 4, 5, 6 working sets that you need.
Right. And it also is just better for like it's more flexible for people who are busy, who have kids, who have demanding jobs, because, the first thing a trainer or someone will ask you, or the first thing you're going to ask yourself when you're coming up with your program is, how many days a week am I going to lift? And then you have to, if you do like arms on one day or chest on another day or push and pull legs, whatever you want to do, if you do it that way, you're pretty much beholden to that amount of days.
Right.
If you do full body workouts, you could do 3 1 week because like your work schedule is not that busy, or your kids are in summer camp, or your kids are still in school. And then like if a busy week pops up and you do 1 or 2, you're still hitting every body part. And like Seth said, if you do 2 workouts in a week, you're getting pretty much 2 to 4 working sets of each muscle group.
Exactly.
So it's definitely beneficial in that regard.
As well as like that, why we do it for our Fit for Life program, especially people who are newer to working out, or maybe not even newer, just newer to follow an actual program. You'll be able to do the same exercises consistently, so you can get better at them.
Yeah, it definitely helps with
or at least
progression.
do movements that are similar, so you can like get used to them. And like, say you're going to the gym twice a week and you're doing a full body, you might get to the point where you realize you can handle another day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that.
Absolutely. And the one benefit that I found personally when I switched from doing push-pull legs or whatever split I was doing before is that I find that like when I did a push workout, like I would do bench, I would do overhead press, I would do skull crushers and tricep push downs. And then like by that point I was pretty gassed.
Yeah.
So the last like 5 or 6 workouts I would do, or exercises I would do during that day, would be like just like isolation workouts, and I'd kind of half-assed them just because I wanted to hit 6. And then like the same thing would happen with pull. I would just end up doing like curls that I really didn't want to do at the end of the workout. And I was just beating myself up doing extra sets because they fit the push or pull mold of that day. But with full body, like if I do bench, overhead press, deadlift, and like one other like leg thing,
every exercise
I go as hard as I can.
Yeah.
And if I only get to 4, I kind of just am like, fuck it, I got the 4. Like it's fine. That's I find that like it just helps me like avoid soreness and burnout, and also because I'm not doing like stupid stuff just to fit.
Avoiding redundancy and
really
prioritizing those exercises. And another option that we didn't really talk about is like, there's nothing also wrong with like, if you're doing 1 or 2 full body days, you can always, if you want to get extra work, do isolation work. But most people, like, we're not saying there's anything wrong with doing the the different types of splits and things like that. But
Yeah.
we're talking about most people.
Yeah, it just adds extra pressure to stick to that many days. It requires probably more eating because you're
Right.
doing more sets of everything. It's just a lot. And like similar to our last video, like most people don't need that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I find that it just makes more sense for my schedule because not just my schedule, but my energy levels and my lifestyle, because like I try to do 3 or 4 every week, but like, let's say, you know, at the end of the summer, I'm going to start playing basketball on Saturdays again. If I had like a 4-day-a-week program that was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, well, then come the fall when I play basketball again, I'm going to have to rework the whole thing.
Right.
But with doing full body workouts, I can just drop a day or 2 if I'm like really burned out and tired from basketball. It just allows for so much more flexibility. It allows for it's like less mental load that you have to think about, because like you're like, oh, what the hell am I going to do when I go to the gym today? You have a set workout and you could do the same thing. And to be clear, you don't have to do the same full body workout every single day, but you're at least making sure you hit the same muscle groups. Like Fit for Life is that way. There's day 1, day 2, and day 3. And if you only do one of the days, any of the 3 will be good. If you do 2, any of the 2 will be good. If you do all 3, even better. But if you're sick, if something comes up, you don't have to be able to do all 3 to see any progress.
And as a trainer, like I know other trainers and things like that. Most trainers that I know and people who practice fitness are going to miss days here and there. So even those type of people benefit from the full body, like you said, because you're going to wind up missing days. You're going to wind up doing things like that. So if you're doing the full body program, it's just going to fit your lifestyle a lot better.
Yeah.
Especially since we started doing it with our clients, I've noticed like a lot better results and satisfaction, and like not like trying to like figure out and manipulate, like readjust, like, oh, they missed push last week, so now we have to do XYZ. Yeah. Whereas like we're doing full body for their 1, 2, 3 sessions a week. I'm like, all right, they missed a full body workout. We're doing a full body workout this time now. So. Right.
And there are instances where it makes sense to like not do it this way. Like if you have super intense goals, you're trying to compete in bodybuilding, you have like a wedding or some kind of event coming up where you want to make like really insane progress on like specific body parts, then it makes sense. Or like Seth said, you can do 2 full body and add a day of whatever that body part is.
Or if you're just like routinely like 5 days a week is like nothing for you, maybe your job's not too like physically intensive, or you don't have kids, and that time of your life where getting to the gym 5 days a week is nothing for you, sure, have at it. But we're just talking about general population. A lot of the clients we face, people come in who don't have like these extreme goals. They just want to better their health and be functional and add some strength and things like that. There's nothing wrong with doing the full body. In fact, we encourage it for most people.
Yeah, and from a professional standpoint, the one thing that I really like about it, not the only thing, but a big thing, is that I think it takes a lot of the complexity out of warming up. Because we can pretty much do the same warm up for all 3 days of Fit for Life. I could do the same warm up for one-on-one clients because I know it'll warm up all the body parts. And sometimes it might be extra. Like sometimes you might be warming up body parts you're not necessarily going to use, but it still helps with mobility. It still helps with just keeping the blood flowing and staying fresh and all kinds of stuff like that. So,
and building on what you said real quick, especially for newer lifters or new people to follow in the program, when they're doing just one isolated body part, by the time they get to that third exercise, they're muscularly fatigued beyond like anything. So if you're mixing up and going from body parts, they'll be able to prioritize each and every exercise.
Yeah, you cook yourself
and then recover so they can come back and work out in 2 days or whatever.
Right.
So,
and I will say, like, on the flip side, if you're like doing like powerlifting and trying to like just explode all of your bench and squat and deadlift numbers, doing them all in the same day would be pretty hard. But like we said in our first video, again, most people aren't doing that. I used to try that, and even doing them on separate days, you're just smoked by the end of the week. But doing it this way, you're making slow and steady progress. You're making sure you hit every body part. You might plateau on certain lifts a little bit more, but like if you think about it, plateaus really aren't the end of the world. As long as you're not going backwards, you're maintaining is progress in a lot of ways. Because as we age, it's harder to stay as strong as we are. It's harder to maintain muscle. So even maintaining is perfectly fine, and honestly something to be celebrated.
Mm.
But back to the workout part, the warming up part, like even not as a professional, even for my own workouts, I used to not warm up nearly enough because I hated it, because I was like, what the hell do I do for chest warm up? What the hell do I do for shoulder or knee, like legs or pull or whatever? But now I'm just in like a rhythm. I don't even have to think about my warm up. I just do it. It takes me 12 minutes, and then I'm on to my lifts, and my joints are better off. Everything is better off because of it.
I've noticed that as well since we started the Fit for Life program, where the warm up is a lot more seamless.
Right. And it's funny too, because like the warm up that we do for Fit for Life works for pretty much everything. So like if I have a Fit for Life group starting around the same time Seth has a private client, or vice versa, like, and we'll start to warm up and like we're doing the same things. And then after the warm up, it's like, all right, we're going to go over here and do push day with this private client, and Fit for Life's going to do a full body workout, or vice versa. Yeah. And it's like the warm up can be like the same thing you do every single workout.
Yeah.
And it can also be something that if you don't have a lot of time, or like you're sore or like fatigued, you could do the warm up, make it like add a few more things, or make it take longer, or do a few more sets of each thing, and do that as your workout for the day.
Make them a little more challenging.
Exactly. Yeah. And then then all of a sudden you're working on your mobility, and you're basically practicing active recovery and making gains and getting better for your next workout.
Exactly.
So with that being said, this video is a little bit shorter than the last one because we kind of wanted to like touch on this super important topic. But if you guys have questions about full body workouts versus isolation, or body part splits, or push-pull leg splits, feel free to comment, DM us. But make sure you follow us on Instagram at them before fitness, and make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube.